Welcome to Modern Day Abigails, a women's outreach of Calvary Chapel, Pearland. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new." So let's listen to God's Word, where everyday lives transform and where we can become the women God created us to be.
I mean, I've seen women talk the way they talk about their husbands in front of other women. It's like, excuse
or
me?
in front of them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I cringe.
I did. I had this one, the way she talked about her husband in front of me, and I'm like, at that time I was too shy. Nowadays I'd be like, excuse me? But at that time I'm like, I gotta go. Because I'm like, that was, no, we don't do it that way. But anyway, so we're going to.
My gosh, there could be this could just go on and on.
Yeah, I know. I guess we should get the first
examples.
3.
We could make 2 months worth of podcast right
We
here.
could.
We
This
just
is
keep
why we
rolling
talk-
this on.
This is why we talk for 4
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, and ladies realize this is 2 to 1 in here. I'm one guy, 2 ladies, so you know.
But you're such a manly man that you're 2 of us.
I am twice the man
Yes.
that everybody else.
Exactly.
Sometimes we go in to get a table and they look at me and Anna and they say, "Table for 2?" I said, "No, 3." And they look at me, 3. I said, "I'm twice the man you are."
Oh my God. Okay, that's not
Didn't we talk about humility? Okay,
right.
I'm coming
Okay.
back down.
And for those of y'all who don't know Pastor Ray, we always joke about how Anna is married to John Wayne.
I am.
So he's a guy's.
Well, I'll
guy.
tell you.
Told you.
Let's move on, Pilgrim. We're burning daylight.
Exactly. And verse 3 is going to be a lot of fun because it says, this is 1 Peter.
And I tried to put on my hat when I
3.
said that, but I got these headphones on. So
You can't do
I
it.
tried to John Wayne.
Well, we're not on video anyway, so
That's the
sometimes
nice
it'd be
thing
fun.
about podcasts.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ann. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do not let your adornment be merely outward, arranging the hair,
Amen.
wearing gold, or putting on fine apparel. Rather, let it be the hidden person of the heart with the incorruptible beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is very precious in the sight of God. And I see it all the time that these ladies, they're trying to make outwardly what they want to be inwardly, they are not
the mega
inwardly.
trophy wife, and
Yeah.
she puts everything she's got outwardly. We had that one, and
Yes.
I'm not giving names, but it happened. It's my experience. I'm entitled to say it.
Exactly.
She came in dressed up her absolute best. She had a beef.
Tight.
She had a
dress.
beef with her husband. She wanted to win, and she wanted to get the pastor on her side. So she came in wearing the tightest, most revealing,
a lot of cleavage.
I'm going to have his eye. And the minute I saw her, I thought, oh boy, I'm in for it. What is she here to do? And she'd come in to trash her husband that she had only been married to for about a week or 2.
Yeah, something like that.
The ink wasn't even dry on the certificate, and she was ready to divorce him. And she come in dressed like that to get me on her side to make him submit to her. And buddy,
it didn't work.
she was throwing everything she had on the wrong side. She was throwing it all on the outward appearance. So when you said that verse, I said, oh, amen to that.
Yes.
Ladies, be as beautiful inside as you are out. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it goes a long way.
It does.
I'm telling you.
I just found out that there's a certain individual at my work that they're known as a Ferrari.
What?
A Ferrari.
Yeah, that's how they describe her
Oh, wow.
because of how she dresses.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And I'm like, dang. But at the same time, it's like, if that's true, I am glad I'm not a Ferrari because I don't want to be remembered as that. I don't mind being remembered being.
That's just all good looking on the outside.
Yeah, exactly. I don't mind being known as being fiery, but I don't want to be known as just my outward appearance. I want you to know because it talks about that hidden person of the heart and incorruptible beauty of a gentle, quiet spirit. Is seeing when you have that, it's not corruptible.
So I got 2 things to interject here. One, on that woman, she was barking up the wrong tree because
she didn't know me very well.
No,
did she?
No.
Well, you're not a guy who has a wandering eye.
No.
And everybody who knows you knows that you don't have.
She's used to the bar scene.
Yeah,
I'm going to go
yeah.
so Google eye on her that she's going to win.
And
Yeah.
I've known you for years, and I have never
No.
seen that. So if that's what she was trying to do, well, that was automatically going to fail. And 2, ladies, I love me some glitter. I love me
she
some
does.
sparkles.
She does. She sparkles.
But it does not everybody who knows me knows that I'm all about the
Your
glitter.
sparkle is just representing what's on the inside.
Yeah.
It is not like you're trying to hide something or cover up something or create a fakeness. We all know that that's just your inner sparkle, and it just shows up in stuff.
There's nothing wrong with a little
Do you
glitter.
still have a chandelier in your bathroom?
It's my office.
Okay.
Your mom's the one with the chandelier in the bathroom.
Yes. Okay.
She has it in her office.
Love that. I
I
need
knew-
a picture.
Oh, no,
of
she's
this.
gonna want
We
one
did
now.
send her a picture. I showed it to you that
Oh,
one time.
she's going to want us to
Oh,
hang
I didn't
it up.
realize that was his mom.
Yeah.
Oh, I started something. She's going
You
to.
certainly did.
Anyway, Miss Bling Bling over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's okay if
I
you're
love
like
my
me,
bling.
who is like glitter every once in a blue moon is fine. I do a little bit more glitter now because I got little nieces. My two nieces
And
are
you have
girly
me.
girls, and I have Joanna. So all these girly girls around me has brought out a little bit of sparkle.
And she's even wearing pink sometimes.
I do.
It's
That's because Ray
amazing.
bought this shirt. Right.
And she wears flowers on her toes.
Yes, no, I like flowers. Flowers are cool,
Yes.
but
that's not what we're talking about
That's
here.
not what we're talking about because I mean, like I said, it was the funniest
That's
thing.
all
is
you're about. And there's
yeah,
nothing on, and you're dead inside.
yeah. I like.
Then we have issues.
Yeah, we have issues because I remember one time showing up to church and they all looked at me and they're like, "Oh, you've had your littlest niece spend the night again, huh? How'd you know your nails are painted?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are."
And they have glitter.
Because it's not who I am. It's not about trying to look fake. It's about what's in the heart. And if it's in the heart, it is going to show up on the outside. I don't care who you are. If you have a beautiful heart, if you're quiet and gentle, which I love this sentence, very precious in the sight of God. That means it's valued. God values this in a woman. And we're talking about, somebody had an issue with being a weaker vessel. But yet, all I see here is how much God values it, and it's beautiful to him, and that's what he wants to see.
Well, that's who he is. We're supposed to mimic him.
Right. And
As much as we humanly
Right.
can.
And if
We
you-
are not God, but
if
we
you're-
can certainly
exactly.
mimic him.
If you're a follower of Jesus, don't you want him to know that you're valued by him? And he's saying, look, I want to see your heart. I want to see this quiet, gentle spirit. And I know I've had to work on mine. And I even made a comment one day, like, where's my quiet, gentle spirit? And the guy looked at me and goes, I don't know.
I
A
didn't
long
have
time ago.
one.
I didn't. I'm
have one
having to
now.
learn. So, ladies, we want to give you hope. Let's give you hope. If you think I don't have a quiet, gentle spirit, you can pray and ask the Lord to give you one, and he will teach you how to have one.
He knows how to change you in ways
Yes.
you don't know how.
Exactly.
And having that beauty inside. Ladies, let me tell you something about how men think. Okay. And I'm reaching back across my whole history to go into this.
Oh, I
one.
can't
Okay,
wait. I'm
we're
getting comfortable.
Anna-
This isn't how I am right
Anna
now.
and
but-
I literally turned to face you. So
Yeah, they did. They
Go
both
for
looked
it.
at me.
I can't wait.
Okay. Ladies, when guys are younger, they look at all the outward appearance because when you're younger, you're dumber. Okay. And if that is all you're going to concentrate on, then if all you're going to concentrate on is your outer, you're going to get a weakling man.
Yes.
You're going to get a weakling man that does not care about you internally at all. He's just going to look at you, and that's as far as it's going to go. And you're going to use that to get him, to win him over. You're going to use the outward only. You're going to concentrate only on the outward, and you're going to win him over for a time. But he's going to get tired of you real quick, and he's going to see somebody else walk by that's just a different flavor of ice cream, and he's
Right.
going to look at her too. And you're not going to offer him anything of your heart that makes you unique, that makes you stand out. Well, he's going to be looking for the next girl. I mean, the guy's eyes wander around. But if you give him some genuineness, some internal beauty, internal godliness, I would call it, that's going to make you stand out. And if the guy's not ready for that, let him go. Let him go. Find you the right one, okay? Yes, guys see. They look at this shape. They look at this form. But it is so shallow, and it doesn't have anything permanent to it at all. But yes, that does make them look. Okay, now if you're going to go all for that, you're only going to get so far. I know girls that are, gosh, I've known them for 30 years. When they were in their 20s, they were going to bars, putting on that outward show, and not finding anybody that would stick with them.
Right.
Okay, and now 30 years later, they're in their 50s. They're still doing the same thing. They're still going to bars. They're still slapping on the makeup, putting on them clothes and all that kind of stuff, but they still have that, I will not submit to no man, because they have no fear of God. They're throwing everything they've got on the outward beauty. They have none on the inside. And to this day, they can't land a guy that'll take them and keep them because they don't want that.
Right.
They want you got to have an inner beauty to you. And especially if it's godly, it's going to be so much more binding. And the commitment, the level of commitment that you're looking for, ladies, and if you're not able to find it, if you're not getting it, it's because you're not making it a godly commitment from the internal side of your being. You've got to have that, or these guys ain't gonna stick to you very well.
Right. And there's 2 points to that, and one of them is the simple version is we get older, our bodies change.
It ain't gonna stay with you for long.
Yeah, it changes, and there's not much you can do about it.
No.
So again, like these gals that I'm talking about that are getting up into they're going to be nearing into their 60s soon.
Right.
They don't have what they used to have, and that little trick don't work anymore.
Right. And I'm going to tell you, working on the inside is 10 times harder than working on the outside. And that's why I think a lot of women choose to work on their outside, because in retrospect, it's actually a lot easier. I got makeup, I got this and this. I can do it this way simply. Working on your inside, that's actually a lot of work. It takes time to pray, be willing to change. And that's the biggest one right there. Are you willing to change? Because if you're not willing, it's not going to work. And then you have to pray and see where the Lord directs you. And sometimes it's hard. You and we discuss this often in our shows about our broken hearts and our journeys and how difficult it is because we have to revisit areas that we don't want to revisit.
Well, it's painful.
And then it's painful, but also we know we have to make a change. Thankfully, the Lord says, hey, I'm going to be there with you. I'm going to help you make a change. But in the end, we still have to make that decision to change.
Oh, and sometimes the wives, they'll be like, well, he's not changing. He's not changing. Why do I got to change? Well, you know what? That particular journey isn't about him.
Yeah. This is your journey.
I had to learn. When my ex-husband and I, before we got divorced, I would tell the Lord, why am I the one that's got to do all the apologizing? That's got to do all the changing. That's got to do all of this.
Maybe because you're the one that's the believer and you're the one that gets it.
I was. Okay. I know, but I didn't know that at the time.
Okay. And that's why I'm telling everybody, you're the believer. You're the one that's supposed to obey.
And the Lord said...
and sometimes you're both believers, but the Lord makes a decision who's going to go first.
Well, the Lord told me, what he's doing is not your business.
Right.
This is between me and you.
Right.
This is your journey. I'm doing his journey with him. This journey is with you.
Right.
Mind your own business.
Exactly.
And he told me that often.
It makes me want to ask people in a bad situation, I hate the way my marriage is, or I hate the way my situation is, but why should I have to be the one to change? Do you really want this to continue?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Do you want it to change? Yes. Yeah, but why do I have to be the first one to make the move? Whoa.
Right. Wait.
But you weren't. Jesus was.
Abigail didn't have to make the first move.
No.
She chose to.
Right?
So,
well, and it ended up saving her.
If she hadn't made the first move, all the men in the family would have been dead.
Yeah.
I always say, if you don't like your life, give it to Jesus. He'll give you a better one.
And he did. And that's true, because I remember telling the Lord, look, I hate my life. I don't want it anymore because you can have it because I don't like the one I have. And he's like, thank you. About time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I heard him say about time.
Right.
But so anyway, so we want to make sure we understand that very precious in the sight of God. God sees this beautiful. If you really want to please God, you're going to have this quiet, gentle spirit, and you're going to want to work on your heart condition with Jesus. That's why we're going through the book of Solomon, Songs of Solomon, the Songs of Solomon, because that's what it's about, a relationship with Jesus.
Listen, ladies, if you really want to sparkle and shine and glitter and be attractive, that does not, as Pastor Ray was saying, that does not start on the outside.
No, it has to start on the inside.
That starts on the inside with Jesus shining out of you.
If you think about it, if you want to look at it another way, if you're not all about sparkles and glitter and stuff.
I don't understand that.
I'm sorry.
Well, I don't understand what you're saying right now.
Let's look at water. Think about it. If you're in a bathtub full of water, what happens to your skin and everything?
Bubbles or no bubbles?
Either one. Either one. Same principle. Whether you have bubbles or not, you're going to start pruning, right? Your fingers all look weird.
Yeah.
But if you start drinking a whole lot of water, what happens to your skin?
You plump up.
You glow. Okay, for those who can get rid of the water out of their system properly.
Okay, yeah.
Good water gets everything functioning correctly, and it actually makes your skin look beautiful. A lot of people who have bad skin, once they start really drinking water, their skin improves a lot because you need that water. So that's an example of inside out. When you take care of that inside, it's going to come out on the outside. So if you're really thinking, look, looks bad, hey, work on your heart and it's going to come through.
Yes. So y'all ignore my answer about plumping up because
some people
I'm
do
probably
not. I know.
I have an immune disorder that does not allow my body to.
Yeah, some people retain water, and there's a help for that too.
That's not what Anna's talking about.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about adding some lemon to your water so you can help, get rid of some of it or detox.
We're talking about being healthy.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. But yeah, so you want to plump up with Jesus because it's going to shine through and you're going to look good when you're full of Jesus, and people will see it, and people do see it. I promise you that I remember Ray and I were at a restaurant, and this waitress started working with her, and I'm like, Lord, that is a believer. I can tell she's a believer. And finally, I said, can I ask you? You're a believer. You're a believer, right? I said, I can tell, and she about cried because
no, she did.
She did. She cried because she could tell because we saw Jesus inside of her, and she just needed to hear that.
That's so, because she might have been a brand new believer, not realizing she was making any sort of difference in her life or
the way she just worked at our table set the tone, and it made a difference. You could see it. So anyway, all right. Anybody before we go to verse 5? We got some other verses to go through.
We're only to 5. Okay.
This is going to be a little longer.
Yeah, go for it.
For in this manner, in former times, the holy women who trusted in God, that's very important, trusted in God, also adorned themselves, means putting on, being submissive to their own husbands, as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters you are, if you do good and are not afraid with any terror. Okay, that's a lot in there. Because if you ever read the book of Genesis, you can tell that Sarah and Abraham, they had an interesting marriage.
I'm shaking my head.
It was not always cushy. And I don't think she always obeyed him or called him Lord either.
No, I don't think it was always in order for sure.
No.
Well, we have proof that it was not in order. And then calamity.
Yeah, she decided to help God out since she wasn't getting pregnant and they were going to have descendants. She decided to help, Abraham out and give him her handmaid, Hagar, as a wife.
Turned into a disaster.
Like, girl. And then she's upset about it. Girl, you handed...
Abraham... literally... Okay, we can't even go there.
Abraham could have said no. But where in your right mind do you think that this is a good plan? Hey,
she was a young, 20-year-old, he's going to, his... No, it's not.
It's not okay. It's not okay. So we know, but that means she learned. As the Lord worked with them, he was patient, and you saw that change, and you can see it later, so in other words, I want to shorten this up. We don't have to talk. We want to talk more about it. We can, but I'm going to shorten it up this way. Nothing has changed. God has not changed his order. God has not changed his plan. Just as he expected it from the times of Sarah, he expects it still today.
If there's one thing that we have, it is we don't have a wishy-washy God.
No, he makes a decision and that's it. That's his decision. And we cannot change his mind. He changes our mind towards his will, but we do not change his mind.
God does not change. He doesn't think, you know what, that whole Bible I wrote, that sure is politically incorrect. Sure is, makes a lot of people mad. I think I'm going to back off of that now. And it's to where we become God.
It's ancient.
Where we make him change for us. We don't.
That's religion.
God does not change for us.
Right.
We change for him. And that's how that works. But I'm just looking at this right here that you read where it says that she obeyed Abraham and called him Lord.
Yeah. Deep respect.
Can you imagine what is an equivalent of that today? Sir.
Yeah.
So like a husband and a wife are in public somewhere talking and she says to him, yes, sir.
Oh, I get looks.
Anna does that with me. And you can just see the infuriated wrath and redness rise up in women that hear this.
Yeah.
And I'm not running a cult here where I make everybody tell me these things or whatever. Anna chooses to do it.
Yeah. That's a choice.
She chooses to do it. She saw it in the Bible and she does it. And man, I know we just ticked off half the women here, but I'm just saying it's here. Sarah obeyed Abraham, called him Lord. Okay. Now this puts on a display to people that don't know the Lord. If you're walking in public, you're walking through the store and people don't know who you are and they hear you say that, what are you displaying to them?
That I'm obeying the Lord, that I put doing what he asked me to do.
So where do you think that fury comes from when they
that's
hear
the enemy.
That's the enemy. And so what does that tell you about their relationship with the enemy?
They have a better relationship with the enemy than they do with
God.
Jesus.
Isn't that something? Oh, ladies,
and
please.
then they certainly don't understand
please
our
hear
Lord.
this.
Right.
You don't understand the Lord. In these are things he expects. Now, ladies, don't think that I'm just using this Bible to keep my wife backed up in some kind of a corner. There's a lot of things I, as a husband, have to do for her. As a matter of fact, the husband is supposed to give up his very life for her. Okay, I entered into something early, but I'm just saying that, ladies, don't think we're just picking at you. There's plenty that comes from the guys that's expected of him.
But go ahead and talk about what you said, because I don't have that verse here, but if you want to talk about that.
You talk a minute and I'll get into that.
Okay.
Let me go look it up, because I came into this unprepared.
That's okay. So it does talk about husbands next. And this is where we're getting to that part about the weaker vessel, because it's talking about, and I'm going to go into some other scriptures about it and then why God expects this.
Wait, can I say something real quick?
No, I'm just joking.
I love that.
That was just for Ray.
My face went blank. I'm like, what?
That was just for Ray's amusement.
I'm sure the ladies liked it too.
Jesus. I'm so glad this is not video. We have our list.
Yes.
And then the men have theirs. And I will tell you, when you actually dig into theirs, I do not want their list.
No, they're supposed to die for us.
I'm like so glad. And
give up everything.
And then the big decisions.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
If they make them and they screw up, okay.
I can't tell you
how many.
When we first got into ministry and when we started working on the church, there were some things that came up. And I remember saying, oh, Lord, I'm glad that's him and not me. I've made that decision. I'm walking off now. That's his decision, not mine.
Right.
Sometimes I ask him stuff. And then, ladies, sometimes that's very helpful. Like if somebody asks you to do something and you're not sure, it is so great to be able to go to your husband and ask him. And if he says no, not my problem. Husband said no, sorry.
Yeah.
Blame it. Sometimes I tell Ray the same thing. Like, you can tell him that your wife said no. I don't care. I don't even know what I'm saying no to, but just let me know.
So keep that in mind when we're listening to both lists, is that the men have their own. And ladies, we got the better end of the deal, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yes.
They hear all this submit. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't submitting to no man. He shouldn't have. Okay.
He bears
Hold on, ladies. When I do a wedding ceremony, when I marry two people together, I give the expectations of the wife, and you can just see some of the veins sticking out of people's forehead out there in the crowd when I go through that. But I say, now hang on a second, I'm getting to the men, and the men's list is actually longer.
Yes, it's more challenging. The men's list is more challenging.
Yeah. If I ever get married again, I want you to do that part.
Well, it'll happen.
Okay. I just want to make sure I had this one because it's been a while since I looked at those. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Make sure I understood. Okay, so verse 7. Ready? 1 Peter 3:7. Husbands. And does this mean single guys too? Actually, this means husbands. Because guys, you shouldn't be living with a woman if you're not married to her. This is called husbands. Right. That first word husband means I made a commitment and I'm intending to keep my commitment. Just like with wives, we have a commitment. So it says husbands, likewise. Likewise goes back up to the top, by the way. Dwell with them with understanding, giving honor to the wife as to the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers may not be hindered. So he's saying you got to do this because they're heirs too. I didn't leave them on the curb. It's not like we're going to all go to heaven and we got this little trashy corner and the guy's got this great place over here. No, we're coming in this together. But what I like about it is that weaker vessel. It does mean what it says. We are to be protected. This is not talking about spiritually. I mean, we know Anna in the Bible with the other gentleman whose name I can't remember. They were promised to see the Messiah. And she got to see the Messiah. She'd been a widow living in the church, dedicated to nothing but prayer. Okay. Her spiritual life was probably 10 times more than some of the other ones. This is talking about physical. And he says, giving honor. What does it mean to give honor to somebody?
You're asking us.
Yeah, I am. I want to know your thoughts.
I don't even know how to put that
into
words.
When you honor someone, you treat them as better than yourself.
Right. So if they're treating someone better than themselves and yet they're called a weaker vessel, isn't that something that is precious because remember God said it above, this is precious. Isn't he saying that you're precious and that you deserve to be protected? Isn't that the husband's job to protect this weaker vessel? Meaning, if you're going to protect something, are you going to scream, kick, or yell, or throw it?
No.
No.
You're going to guard it with your
life. What
life.
does it mean to protect? As the man, right, what does it mean to protect?
I'm going to keep harm from you.
Yeah, exactly. Are you going to let
that
me
means
get broken?
I'm going to have to fight that harm
Yes.
away. Anybody that would bring harm, they're
Right.
going to headbutt me, and we're going to lock horns and go down, and we're going to fight it out before it ever touches you.
Right, exactly.
Oh, I'm going to add to this. Let me talk to my mic.
Yeah, good idea.
Anna and I both have a tendency to just keep going. And there's a point where Ray protects her and says, okay, you got to stop.
Yeah.
It's time to take a break.
Exactly.
We're resting this weekend. You're not doing anything.
Thank you for letting us share our tools to become the women God created us to be. If we encouraged you today, visit us at moderndayabigails.com. Remember, you are loved, cherished, and prayed over.